Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and even consider hitting the dreaded notification bell. We've also recently set up a Discord server, so feel free to join that if you want to chat to people, or just lurk in the shadows. The link is in the description below. The Thinker. People don't like to think. If one thinks, one must reach conclusions. Conclusions are not always pleasant. INTPs at their best are characterized by intellectual fearlessness, the ability to stare harsh or unpleasant truths in the face, and be content to lose certain comfortable but misguided notions or previously cherished beliefs, because what is left over, no matter how scarce, is true. And truth is the only solid foundation to build on. Being purists of truth is just one side of the coin. The other is an intense dislike of logical inconsistencies. INTPs are open-minded and can often see the reasoning behind a person's opening gambit or starting position. They are willing to entertain out there ideas or unusual political views. Just make sure to be logically consistent and avoid internal contradictions at all costs. Spotting things that deviate from patterns is a very natural thing for them, so they can easily spot outliers or exceptions to the rules. Let me give you an example. Nothing is impossible. This is a nice sentiment. It's designed to get a point across. Its intention is to create a vibe of limitlessness, an encouragement to contend with obstacles instead of cower to them. It's not meant to be exact or precise. It's very approximate. Now, I associate that way of speaking with high extroverted feeling, where the overall point that's been expressed is more important than the precision of the language. However, introverted thinking is having none of it. If nothing is impossible, then everything is possible, which means that the concept of impossibility is also possible, making it logically inconsistent. It should be rephrased as nothing is impossible, brackets, with the exception of impossibility. There you go. We've successfully sucked all of the charm and catchiness out of the phrase in the name of being logically pedantic. Goodbye warm and fuzzy vibes. Hello cold hard truth. Solid uncertainty. Because INTPs don't feel the strong need to take constant action, they can tolerate ambiguity and uncertainty, and are happy to leave things simply in flux or undecided. Their thinking is unrushed, and therefore more thorough and depth-seeking. Nonetheless, eventually arriving at conclusions is still desirable. To find something that works is a great joy. Formulas that once discovered or created can be used indefinitely and always work. This makes INTPs extremely adept at learning systems that are static or fixed, which then have creative applications. An example of this could be programming or coding, where sometimes simple ideas or concepts can be used in complex and creative ways. Another example would be musical instruments, which are also quite static systems, some of which haven't changed for centuries. So you can learn these principles or formulas, cement them, then use them in innovative ways. The thing to note about these kinds of systems or skills is that often there is no time element to them. They're not arenas that require you to react quickly or adapt to real-time issues. They're things that can be learned at your own pace. You can spend time tinkering and pondering and experimenting, and then eventually, once the INTP gets familiar enough, comfortable enough, and competent enough, then they can use those skills in a more fluid and action-orientated way. Thought leaders. In some sense, the ideal aim for an INTP is to make their thoughts work for them in life. The most rewarding, and also I think the most desirable outcome, is when their insights can benefit other people. If they can empower other people's intellects by providing them with accurate systems of thought. Some people lead by example. Some people lead through action. INTPs like to lead from the couch. I've mentioned this before, but INTPs do extremely well when they can influence through their knowledge whilst outsourcing the action to other people. Theoretically, sitting down in front of a camera on YouTube, spewing knowledge out into the ether that people can take, ponder, analyse, but crucially act upon, or in some way be influenced by. That's a nice role for INTPs. Famously, Alexander the Great was tutored by the famous philosopher Aristotle, and I'm not sure what type he is, would impart knowledge of philosophy, political strategy, and life in general. And Alexander would take those things and then put them into practice. So I want to be precise in what I'm saying. I know INTPs that are very energetic and very on the go, but to optimally place yourself in the world, you need to be able to make full use of your strengths whilst making sure your weaknesses don't trip you up. The best way to achieve this is for other people who are good at your weaknesses to do it for you and work with you. If an INTP can lead just by virtue of their thoughts, their insights, or theories, if they can plant ideas in people's minds that are useful and and helpful, then they get to influence, inspire, educate, and give back to the world. That is where I think they can exercise their true genius. Feel free to exercise your true genius on our new Discord. Also visit our website and Patreon and our new Pornhub profile. Just kidding.